I am first and foremost a mother of three boys, 16, 15, and 11. Of course, you got to get that in there, right? So active, fun boys. We live the boy life every day. And then when I'm not being mom, don't have my mom hat on, I work for Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company. So we're a broadband provider in Southeast Iowa. We're really fortunate to be in a position of fiber to the home in our area, and a lot of the people around us are at little small telephone companies, but we serve a big footprint, and we have fiber to the home in a lot of areas in Southeast Iowa. So my role is the GM CFO, wear many hats in a small company, but very fortunate to wear those many hats because we just have a really great team, and so it's easy to wear those hats when it's a great team.
Yes, definitely. Mom of all boys, you go girl. Must
That's right, huh?
Well, tell us, Casey, where you kind of come from, your background, all those great things like that.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Westchester, Iowa, like in the country. Nobody knows where Westchester is because it's a town, not real big, but grew up in rural Iowa, born and raised on a farm. Both of my parents worked outside the home, so we learned at a young age what it meant to work hard for everything you have. Then graduated from Mid-Prairie High School, and so went to not very far, stayed in Southeast Iowa my whole life, went to College, and then accepted a position back in Washington, Iowa at Latta Harris, Hayden and Pennegrath at the time, now Latta Harris, and then started my position at KCTC 20 years ago in March. And so started out as an accountant and then moved up through the ranks until today. So yeah, that's kind of where I come from a family of five, grew up the second of five children. So very fortunate to have all of us fairly close, and my parents still living close as well. So
way cool.
So I guess, oh yes, and of course I married my high school sweetheart, and sorry, I shouldn't leave him out of this, right? So yeah, married my high school sweetheart, moved back to close to where I grew up at, and are raising our children in the same school district that we went to school at. So that's pretty amazing and awesome. So very fortunate.
Casey, tell us more about your current role, what you do, all those great things, how it's impacted you, and how it's brought you to where you are today.
Yeah, so I was really fortunate when I graduated from I went and did an internship at Latta Harris, and then stayed on full time as an accountant. And I went to work for some really cool guys that really became my mentors, I would say. And actually, two of them had left the business. And the one I was able to do some agricultural work through the Iowa Pork Producers. And that was really amazing. It was through Mike Latta, who then passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, I got to travel and do things. I grew up on a farm early mornings, late nights. We did the things. We went to school and did sports things, and then we toured and did all those things at nighttime. So I felt really blessed to be able to move back and work with those guys who taught me so much. And then when I had the opportunity to move to KCTC in the accountant role, that was before we got married, and I knew that maybe the hours wouldn't coincide with a family life. So I was really fortunate to have a really amazing general manager by the name of Ray Marner. And he taught me a lot of things. He retired about a year after I joined the team here. And then he was still has been a really amazing mentor, personally and professionally, throughout my career. So I started out as accountant and then just moved up through the ranks. But I'm really fortunate because this industry is an amazing industry. And so I've learned a lot. Just being involved not only locally, but also on a state level. And then recently, in the last couple of years, I was given the opportunity to mentor other women in the telecom industry, which has just really been a great experience for me. And I'm very thankful for Shirley Bloomfield, who was president of NTCA, our national organization, that she reached out and asked me to do it, because I probably learned more from them than they have from me. But just building those relationships, both professionally, personally, and both locally in Kelowna and Washington, but then also on a whole statewide basis. I'm just really fortunate, and to have a team and family that really supports that and allows me to grow professionally as much as I can. So yeah, just extremely blessed in all aspects of life. So
that's way cool. That is so cool. You know, with every accomplishment, right, there comes challenges. So any words of advice for anyone that's, you know, in a similar business, in a similar role, just trying to make it or try to get to their next step?
Yep, absolutely. In fact, one of the quotes, I was kind of preparing for this interview a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I just have so many quotes, and I read a lot of self-help books. But I think one quote by Steve Jobs like really kind of sums that up, and then another one by someone else. But your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. So I always think that in today's day and age, social media, all those things are wonderful, but also that comparison game comes into play. And just don't compare your journey to somebody else's, because we all have demons behind us, or those things behind us behind the scenes that we don't publicize always. And so what looks good on social media or on paper isn't always what's happening behind the doors or whatever. Another one that really, I think, ticks with me is your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. So I tell my boys that every day, is that to get better, you have to be open to change and be willing to change. And some of my biggest accomplishments have happened because I failed and picked up the pieces and said, I'm not going to let this defeat me. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to grow from it. And so I feel like I try to live by that one, especially every day too, is because I fail every day, many times a day, and I just have to believe that it helps me be a better person and a better boss and friend in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love that. I love that quote. I'm gonna tell my 2-year-old that now. Like,
exactly.
Give me a change, girl. Give me a change.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Open it up to change. That's right. Exactly.
My poor 2-year-old can be like, what, Mom?
She'll learn it someday.
She'll learn it someday.
Tell her now.
I love it. Well, this is kind of our fun round. It's our speed round. And when I say speed round, it's just kind of fun things that people get to learn more about you, all those great things. So my first question is favorite author, favorite book, or favorite movie? Anytime, anytime.
Yeah. So I'm going to do 2 because I enjoy self-help books, but I also didn't become a reader until later, like much later in life, like after I had kids. And I always laugh because I'm like, oh, they tell your kids to read all the time. And I was like, oh, so then I was kind of pushing myself to start reading. But Good to Great is one of my first favorite books, business books of all times. But Heather Gudenkopf, she is one of my favorite authors. So her family is actually right here in the community. And so her parents still live in the community and her sister lives in the community. And so she writes some really amazing, fun fiction books. So I would highly encourage you. And a lot of them are about Southeast Iowa. So you can reference it and be like, oh, that's Iowa City, or oh, that's Cedar Rapids, or whatever. So those are my 2. I know you said 1, but there's 2.
Oh, girl, no worries. 2 is fantastic. I love it. More the merrier is what I say.
Yeah, right.
Best advice you have ever received from anybody?
Yeah. So, I think it goes back to that. My best advice is to learn how to fail, learn how to fail graciously, because whenever you fail, you learn. And as long as you can accept that you need to learn, change can really be amazing from that. So that's probably my best advice.
Yeah, definitely. Who is your hero, or who inspires you every day?
So I'm going to say a couple things. So of course, my parents, they raised 5 children, and Lord, we put them through a lot. So to raise 5 children, they never missed an activity that any of us were involved in. We were all very involved in activities, and they never missed a thing. So they're my heroes, because I look back and I think, gosh, how fortunate we were to have them at everything and supporting us. And they were our biggest cheerleaders. So definitely my biggest heroes. Also, I would say my 3 sons. So 2 of my kids have some special needs, and so they face adversity every single day. But what I can say from them, they're truly heroes, because they do it with grace, and they overcome it with grace, whatever they face every day. And they're just really amazing kids. So of course I'm not prejudiced or anything, but those are my 2 sets of heroes. So
I love it. That's way cool. Where is your favorite place to eat or shop local in your community?
So we have so many. I just don't even want to choose just one.
That's
so
okay.
I would say Washington and Kelowna are just full of amazing places, and the economic prosperity that we have in these two towns is just phenomenal. So I would say any one of those places. I don't really even have a favorite. So I spend a lot of money but in the community, but maybe that shouldn't be on there. I don't want my husband to he doesn't
I love it so much. I love it. No, that's fantastic. And then I'm kind of throwing one in just a little bit. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, yes. Okay, so my favorite is probably Heath. So funny you should say that because my board president here at KCTC is Steve Yachty, and they have Yachty's ice cream here. And so to put a plug in for them, it's the best soft serve ice cream you've had that's around. So definitely that's a fun question, but Heath is probably my favorite from Yachty's too.
Yum, I love it. I love ice cream. Everyone loves ice cream, right? At the summer.
I know, right?
Like the summer.
Exactly.
And then my last question for you, Casey, is in your words, what does it mean for you to receive this award and who has helped you along the way?
So I'm just very humbled to have been receiving this award. I don't know that I should take the credit. I just have a really amazing, my credit really goes to my family, my staff here, my board, and all my friends, all the people that I'm on volunteer boards or with or whatever, because they're the ones that really have made me. And I love to volunteer, and I'm fortunate that has a staff that has really passionate about the same thing. My kids are passionate about it, or even when they're voluntold about being given back to the community and the state. So while I'm truly, truly humbled to receive this award, I also think that it should, it's my village that has gotten me to where I am and continue to get me where I am every day. Because I truly believe that giving back is the best way to receive it from yourself. So